Welcome back to Video Vault 5, presented by 650 Gold. I'm Leon Bibb, along with news videographer and station archivist Tom Livingston. Now we're going to talk about a subject that's near and dear to the heart of my wife.
That's right, Leon. Shopping malls. And one of Cleveland's most impressive started as a train station and then got an extreme makeover.
This is the view from Chopper 5 of our city's newest jewel, the $400 million Tower City project.
Tower City officially came to life this morning as the shopping complex and more opened to the public. We're going to take you on a grand tour next, live on 5.
The 3 million square foot Tower City complex cost $400 million to build. Some of the 1990 structure was even built on top of the original foundations, poured some 60 years earlier. Here's a recap of that eventful day from TV5 reporter Lou Maglio.
And the coming out party was a towering show. Balloons, of course. What's a celebration without them? Mickey came all the way up from Walt Disney World. And did you ever see fireworks like this inside? Maybe some of this reminds you of the Busby Berkeley movie spectaculars of the old days. But make no mistake, all this marks the dawning of a new day in Cleveland. And according to the mayor, this is merely the appetizer.
Our best days, our best hours, and our best years are still ahead of us. Together, the public and the private, the East and the West, the black and the white, we're going to build a new Cleveland, and Tower City will be a symbol of the new Cleveland, the great Cleveland, which we all love so much. God bless you.
This wasn't the first time our area had seen such fanfare for a shopping mall. In 1976, when the Randall Park Mall opened in North Randall, it was called the biggest mall in the world. It had 2 levels of shopping with 5 different anchor stores.
Even more astounding is the fact that several national chains had 2 stores in different parts of Randall Park Mall. A few years before, as he announced plans for Randall Park Mall, developer Ed DeBartolo fired a shot across the bow of the powers that be in downtown Cleveland.
I believe that after today, the forces that want to keep downtown Cleveland intact had better get on their horse and start riding real fast.
Here's some Randall Park video I found of longtime morning radio personality John Lanigan at the WGAR Radiothon for Cancer Research in 1977. And here's a clip from an early Department of Transportation demonstration that took place in the mall. It was to show a new technological wonder for the automobile called an inflatable airbag. Surprise! And finally, the Randall Park Mall was home to the Mrs. Ohio swimsuit competition. If you look closely, you'll see the legendary Cleveland businessman and one-time Cavs owner, Ted Stepien.
Well, we're back, and I want to tell you what I remember, Tommy, about that opening night of Tower City was the big power failure.
All the stations were poised on a balcony overlooking where the fountain area was. And at 5 o'clock, everybody powered up and knocked Tower City power out.
And we had all our microwaves, all the stations in town.
We all got knocked off.
And all of a sudden, everything went black for a while till somebody found a switch and threw it.
Put the breaker back on. You know, the Tower City video is actually the genesis of this show and the Video Vault page on Newsnet5.com, because in 2010, for the 20th anniversary of the opening of the Avenue of Tower City, I posted that as my very first video and story, and look where we are today.
And we're still growing.
We're still going on.
We're still going on.
And we both have memories. I mean, I remember riding trains as a kid back into Tower City and the train terminal back then, and even the Rapid.
What about Randall Park Mall?
Well, I remember the opening being just a huge event, and I'm a West Sider, and we were regulars. We'd go out there all the time. And it was before 480 was finished, so it took some doing to get there. And
it was always shoulder-to-shoulder people. You couldn't even see the names on the stores because there were so many people between you and the store window.
And there were always events there. The Morning Exchange did a lot of their live shows from Randall Park because of the size of the center court. You could have people on the balconies that made for great shots as well.
When it was built, biggest mall in America at that time.
They had a jingle, the biggest mall in all the world.
Now it's no longer there.
That's correct.
Serving as a mall.
That's right.
How things change. Well, now we're going to take a look at yet another grand opening of note. Musical note, that is. An entertainment venue that featured live music, a spacious amphitheater, and starry skies. The year was 1967 when ground was broken for what northeastern Ohioans now know as Blossom Music Center. Named in honor of Dudley S. Blossom, the entertainment venue was completed in 1968, just in time to host its first concert, a performance by George Zell and the Cleveland Orchestra.
Soon, other performers like Broadway and TV star Carol Channing were wowing audiences, sitting on blankets perched on the hillside. In 1976, music superstar Barry Manilow came to Blossom to perform. The show sold out fast, and that night, TV5 reporter Jay Backus discovered that big venues bring big problems, like parking.
Before 8 p.m., when fans were still streaming into Blossom, police had their work cut out for them, orderly parking the thousands of cars. It was like this a month ago for Seals and Crofts night at Blossom, and last week when James Taylor performed before 21,000 fans. But the real job begins when the show is over.
Now, on a night like this, we have pedestrian traffic, which will take up all the road and all the grass for about the first 30 or 40 minutes. In the meantime, we're moving automobiles too.
How long? Even if it takes some of these young people until 4 a.m. to get out of Blossom and back home, there will be few complaints. Tonight or in the wee hours of the morning, whenever they go to sleep, Mandy or I Write the Songs will probably still be playing in their heads. Jay Backus, TV5 Eyewitness News.
Barry Manilow came back to Blossom several times, including this 1980 show where he performed his Academy Award-nominated song, Ready to Take a Chance Again. And then there's this clip I found of William Shatner. I have no idea why the Star Trek captain beamed down to Blossom, but it looks like the audience had a great time anyway.
There was a lot of stars came there to Blossom.
Well, we did a lot of talkbacks where we had the star out there and we put a microwave connection to him back to the station, but it was a very difficult signal because of where it was. Yeah. We had to put the truck at the very top of the hill, and you had to position the guest so that the shell was behind them, so you could see the seats. And it was a little unstable. They were sitting in these director's chairs, and we had a couple of stars who actually, during the interviews on live TV, fell backwards off their chair because they were on the slope.
You mean like this?
Yeah, right, they did that. And the anchor back in the studio go, oh my, what just happened?
They just disappeared.
They did.
Well, coming up next, we'll show you how a bright, sunny morning on Public Square suddenly became so dark you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face.
And don't forget, you can see more than 100 of my vintage clips on my Video Vault page at newsnet5.com.
Tom and I will be right back in a moment.
See dozens of vintage clips from decades of News Channel 5 programming. Go to newsnet5.com/Cleveland Video Vault 5, presented by 650 Gold.